Welcome back to the Barebow Project. Got a couple of new episodes coming for you. First couple are our winners from Lancaster Archery Classic to 2025 champions, Medina and Oliver. Both amazing people. It's such a refreshing thing to see new faces at the top of the podiums, and especially in the top 8. And it's always wonderful seeing the familiar faces too, not to take away from that. Couple of things I want to kind of put past everybody. One, January giveaway winners are announced at the end of this episode. Don't forget, February giveaway for Patreon is going to be a Yoast weight and a Yoast tab. These are paid Patreon subscribers. That's where our giveaways go toward. However, once a quarter I'm doing a giveaway in the Barebow Project subscribers group, so make sure you're in that group on Facebook. And with all the extra coaching content, all the extra interview stuff, having access to the guests, consider joining Patreon and getting involved with that. It helps support the show. Ultimately, the goal is to continue to grow that and be able to travel and promote as much Barebow as possible. But that stuff's not cheap, so your support in that capacity, whether it's the Buy Me a Cup of Coffee link, whether it's going to the Barebow Project store and buying a shirt, a hat, a hoodie, sweatpants, whatever, every little bit helps. So just keep that in mind. And be on the lookout for some new announcements coming, a couple major ones, which is really going to help tie the international Barebow community together, and put us in the forefront of archery news and everything related to competition Barebow archery. So with that being said, enjoy this episode of the Barebow Project, and we will catch up with you soon. Thank you.
Hey everybody, this is PJ Riley from Competition Archery Media.
My name is Hugo Lowe.
Hello, I'm Christina Percoli from San Marino.
Greetings, this is Jay Barrs from the 107 Club.
I'm Ryan. I'm with Vanderbilt Archery in Goodyear, Arizona.
We are Community Barebow. This is for the Barebow Project. Go Barebow!
This is
the Barebow Project.
And this is the Barebow Project.
And this is the Barebow Project.
And you're watching the Barebow Project.
And you're watching the Barebow Project.
I'm Grayson Partlow, and this is the Barebow Project. I think that was an 8.
All right, here we go. Women's Barebow. Our number 4 seed from Prospect, Connecticut, Medina Otajagic. She's 15, and this is her first time in the shoot-ups. And your champion, $3,000 for first place from us, $500 from Gilo, $300 from Gas, Medina you pronounce it.
Otajagic.
East. How old are you?
I'm 15 years old. I just turned 15 in December.
Oh, that's wild. And you shot the classic last year in women's Barebow as well, correct?
Yes, I did.
Does Hall's Archery, they have a JOAD program? Yes.
Yeah.
And are you planning to continue to shoot the women's Barebow for like outdoor target and field and stuff like that, or not sure yet?
Yeah, I think we are. I think we're also planning to try field this year maybe, but we're definitely outdoors going to continue with the Barebow.
Nice. Well, the national field championships for NFAA are in Pennsylvania this year in Mechanicsburg.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll catch up with you there. So I guess these podcasts, I like to get into kind of like the history of shooters. You're a young lady, so you haven't been shooting archery a really, really long time. But just for the listeners and for kids who happen to listen to this, or kids who have parents that, I have a lot of parents that listen to this podcast because there's a lot of coaching stuff that's part of this, the whole Barebow project and stuff.
Yeah.
Where and how did you get started in archery in general?
So I got started in my school during like gym class. They had a unit that was archery and it wasn't the most advanced. I'm not sure if it was run by a program either, but I know it was an archery unit. And after shooting, like doing it in class for a couple weeks, I thought it would be like interesting to try out outside of school because I wasn't doing a sport.
Okay.
And we tried it out and I liked it.
You just
And
kind
we
of
kept
fell in
with
love
it.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you first started, what were you shooting? Just like recurves or was it NASP or?
We were shooting just like a regular like barebow traditional bow.
Oh, okay. All right.
Recurve.
That's really neat. Not all schools do that, that's for sure. Is this like a public school
Yeah.
or private school or?
Public school.
Okay, very good. Oh, that's exciting. So I guess you fell in love with it sort of right off the bat. You said were you playing sports prior or no?
I was playing like basketball and volleyball, but I wasn't playing anything at the moment. So I figured, just try something to get myself busy, not just loaded with schoolwork.
Just wait as you go through high school and college, because if you go to college, because you'll be busy with both for sure. Especially with this success, you've definitely put yourself on the radar of some college teams moving forward. I guarantee you that. So what is it that you got into archery, started competing? What roughly how long ago did you start like actually competing in barebow?
I think actually competing was, I think maybe 3 years ago, because I went to Lancaster 3 years ago. This is my third time, but I only did the Joe Ed my first time.
The Easton Trophy shoot, right?
Oh, yes, sorry.
No, that's good. No worries at all. Okay, cool. So you shot the Easton Trophy shoot, was like, whoa, this is awesome. Probably saw the Barebow shoot ups
Yeah,
and was like, I want to be on that stage someday, kind of deal.
yeah.
Nice. I guess so. I guess that's a natural progression of what are some of the archers, men or women, obviously, that you followed and like really kind of motivated you to continue to compete and work on getting to the stage. What are some people that you followed through the sport?
Ava Jones, definitely. Like we were shooting before, like we were friends because the outdoor season prior to the Lancaster, we were always shooting together, and it was amazing seeing how she got on the podium the year before, and we were talking, and we thought it would be great if we both got on the podium together. And also like the Way brothers, Brian Way and Nick Way, we were talking with them like at Vegas the year before, and we've stayed in touch, and they were like an inspiration to start shooting like really well and try to get like higher.
Glad to hear that. And it was nice to see Brian and Nick at the lane. Well, Brian shot
Yeah.
great. Well, Nick shot great too. It's not to discount either one of them. Brian made it to the top eight as well. He's a nice guy. They definitely are willing to reach out and help people. So, shout out to that. I think the whole Barebow community in some ways is like that though, for sure.
Yeah, very welcoming.
Yeah. So all right, good. So we got to the beginning, what the kind of build up to you deciding, hey, I want to shoot women's barebow for the classic. So let's talk about your landing spot for equipment and what equipment you're shooting. Now, I know you talked about it a little bit on the top eight. We'll make sure that the women's barebow is going to be in the links to this show if you guys want to go watch Medina's amazing performance. But let's talk about what equipment are you shooting right now?
So right now I have Uka X80 limbs, and I believe they're the 38s. And then I have a Gilo GT riser. I have a biter plunger and a sniper rest. And then for arrows, I have Easton 23s, and then nocks are also Easton, I believe. And then I have a Bicaster tab.
That was my next question is what tab are you shooting? What's it been like for you to kind of learn the nuances of barebow? Like string walking is it's not confusing, but it's like it's a specific spot within the shot process that not everybody picks it up. Was that something that you picked up naturally, or was it an adjustment, or?
I think I kind of naturally picked it up starting with barebow because I've only ever shot a barebow, and I think having coaches that have also shot barebow helped me as well because I learned how to like properly string walk and know when it's my form or when to change my crawl and things like that.
Yeah, good. So, is that so you're pretty comfortable then making those adjustments sort of on the fly when you need to and stuff like that?
Yeah.
same with your plunger, like you start to get the idea of like how tuning works and what you can make changes, what you can and can't do, stuff like that. Do you do that stuff yourself, or do you have help with that?
I do most of it myself, but if there's like ever like equipment issues, I do have like some coaches that help me. But normally, like during competitions, if I'm shooting like to one side, I know how to adjust it to hit the center.
Okay, good, very good. Um, do you have any like sponsors that you're working with right now? People you got to give a shout out to?
Not currently,
Not
no.
currently. Good. That's not a bad thing. I mean, just from I know that's a thing that like with young shooters, I always kind of had those discussions. Like the idea of sponsorships can definitely add some added pressure, and sometimes. So it's good that at your age you're not worried about that right now. That's just my humble opinion. But you do what you need to do as you move forward. Did you get a chance to meet Vitario and the Gilo clan?
Yes, I did.
Super nice people, right? Super dedicated to Barebow too. Shout out to Vitario and the whole Gilo Gold crew, because they definitely support the community as best they can here in America for obvious reasons. But the Gilo family is definitely growing quickly in America for sure. So you
Yeah.
seem to have found some success with that. You said GT, right? You're shooting?
Hmm?
Is that a 25 or 27?
It's a 25.
25, okay. And medium limbs?
Sorry, what? Medium limbs? Yes.
Medium limbs? Okay, cool. And you said they're 38-pound limbs. Do you know what you're holding on your fingers?
36.
Okay. All right. Sounds about right. That's pretty stout weight for a young lady. I'm impressed. I like
Thank
it.
you.
So I guess 36 pounds on the fingers, you're not gonna have any problem getting the 50-meter target, that's for sure. What to be able to pull that weight to shoot as consistent as you did, what was your preparation for the classic? What did it look like leading up to it?
Yeah, so we have a range that's about 40 minutes from our house, and we go there, I would say 5 to 6 times a week, and
Oh,
we shoot
that's
around 100 arrows each time. Yeah.
you spend a lot of time in the car.
Yeah.
That's an investment. So shout out to your mom and whoever else supports you through that, because that is an investment. Making that trip and doing all of those things. And just for the parents who happen to watch this, like understand 5 days a week, you said?
Yeah.
That's huge. So I guess what does that 5 days a week look like for you to be the competitor that you are? Like, what are you doing? Are you just going and shooting? Are you doing some drills? Are you working with a coach? Stuff like that. What's that look like for you on a weekly basis?
Once a week, I have a Joed actually at Hall, so I'm a part of the Hall's All-Star Joed. So we go there once a week, and then normally I like to score myself once or twice during the week just to see where I am, and then the rest of that is just shooting. And then sometimes, like if I need to work on stuff, I do drills depending on what I need to work on.
Oh, nice. Okay. So what's your favorite and least favorite drill? I'm curious.
My favorite drill, or the one I do the most, is probably just holding and aiming and letting down, because
Okay.
I tend to have some target panic with aiming at the yellow.
Yeah.
But my least favorite is probably using like shot trainers and stuff like that to help my form a little bit, because it can be a little frustrating.
Really? Why is it frustrating? Because your form is very good, by the way. I mean,
Thank you.
sitting there watching you, there was definitely maybe a level of comfort. You can tell that your process is it's very specific. You can tell that you stick to it. You don't, and that's got to help actually calm the brain a little bit, I'm sure. Um, when you're so young and like you're so tuned into it. Shot trainers, what is it about the shot trainer that makes you struggle, not struggle, maybe that's not the right word, that you just don't like about it? Is it because it's hard, or is it something that just isn't fun? I don't know. You tell
I
me.
think it's just more like maybe a little bit hard, and it's just it's hard to get used to, and then going like switching from not using it into shooting, it can be a little like I don't want to say like annoying, but it can be hard to like switch between using it and not using it. But it definitely helps with the form, and you definitely get to see like if your form's good or not.
Yeah, I guess is it one that you put on your elbow and connect it to the string?
Yeah.
And then when you shoot, you have to maintain the back tension all the way through. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great tool for sure. I used one only this past year after as I was coming back after a surgery that a friend of mine, Larry Butler, shout out to that lad, he sent me one that he had. And it's like it allows you to practice without actually shooting arrows, but it forces you to hold that tension all the way through, which is a key component for sure from the archery standpoint. And honestly, it shows in your shot process and your form. I was sitting there watching your shoot up and commenting that like you looked so calm. Were looks deceiving, or did you calm down eventually?
I think I was more calm. I would say not, I was definitely nervous, but we were just happy to, we were content with just being on the podium. We just wanted to get up there. So it wasn't more about winning for me. It was just more like that was the goal, to just get on the podium. So I think from there, it was just like I wasn't too focused on the whole winning aspect. It was just there.
You were there just to make good shots, right?
Yeah.
Bottom line. So let's talk about the whole Lancaster experience. You've shot there before, so that definitely helped. You're maybe not as apprehensive walking. I know for probably compared to the first time you shot during the Eastern Trophy, you walk in this big, huge, colossal building, and there's all these faces that you see on TV and YouTube and stuff. You got Brady Ellison walking over there and Casey Koffel over there, and then Demmer's over here, and you see the whole Sweden crew, and you see all these people, and you're like, for a newcomer, that can be a bit overwhelming. You're coming into this your third year shooting. Where was your mind coming into your qualification day? Like what was what was the goal, or what was your focus? How did you approach qualifications?
The goal, I think, was to just make it to elimination, so get top 16. But I also wanted to get like a higher seat than I did the year before, because I got 15th, and then I had to go against Lena, so it was a little more difficult, of course, to like make my way up. So I definitely wanted to get one of the higher seats, so it would be, I don't want to say easier, but definitely better position going forward. And I had like a couple averages in mind. I wanted to average like 8.8 or a 9, but definitely just make the qualifications was my first thought.
Very good. What was your final score for qualifications?
I think my final score, oh geez, I don't even remember. I think
I was actually looking it up, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, sure. I think it was somewhere like a 528, I think.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, what is your best like feet around without the 11s that you've shot?
300 rounds, I know my best is like a 275.
Okay.
600, I think at nationals the year before I got a 545.
Oh wow, that's smoking. Nice work.
Thank you.
545 is do you currently would that be the indoor record then? Do you have the indoor?
No.
Oh.
No, it's Ava Jones.
Oh, Ava has a higher than 545. I didn't know for age group because I don't know how close you guys are. I think she's a little older than you, right?
I believe she's 16.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know for class purposes where that would have left you. That's pretty amazing. Especially for Ava. Watching Ava shoot last year, same thing. It was awesome watching her again this year.
Yeah.
This time with a new bow and going down. You can see her maturing within the sport as well, which is great. So all right. So Joad, 540s, get the qualifications. You're seated where you want to be seated. I know you said that you didn't want to compete against Lena, but your path through the shoot-ups or the shoot-offs head-to-heads wasn't any easier this year. Just a quick look at it. I actually have it pulled up on my other screen here. So you hit the head-to-heads, you show up on Saturday morning. It's a little earlier than than the, I don't know what line time did you shoot for qualifications? Was it Friday or Thursday?
I shot 12, I believe.
On Friday.
The 12 game. Yeah.
Got you. So, you have to get there early. The range is packed with
Mhm.
all the people you're going to be shooting against.
Yeah.
You step up to the line for that first, I think you get 2 practice rounds, and then you're off to the races. Your first match, I have it pulled up here. Sarah Ciliani from Italy. I think I said that correctly. You went head to head with Sarah. Came out on top 103 to 99, which is a pretty close match. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
You
For
went,
sure.
yeah, it looks like she actually went up early, 28, 26,
Mhm.
and then 23, 25, and then 25, 26. He ended up tight, and you ended up coming out on the last end with a 26. She had a 23, winning with a 103. So was there like a
Mhm.
big gasp of fresh air, like, okay, I made it past that one?
Yeah, it definitely was because we also I thought it was like top 8 this year going to the podium. I don't know why,
Mm.
but so I also thought like that would be like the one I had to go against. And we also in the practice rounds and the practice ranges before, she also shot next to me, so it was definitely a little more nerve-wracking seeing how she shot before having to go against me. And like you said, it was really close, so anybody could have won at any point really in the match.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time in head-to-heads, whether it's US Open, Lancaster, wherever you go. Anything can happen. Like anyone can hit a hot streak, anyone can have a bad arrow. Like they talk about like Barebow happens type deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's one of those situations like either you're on. I always used to say to Maggie and other shooters I worked with, sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield. Hopefully you're the windshield more than not. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
so all right, good. So that's when things got a little interesting, and you had to go against Cinzia, who is a face of Barebow worldwide. One of the nicest people in the world too. She's
Yeah,
an
she is
absolute
very, very nice.
sweetheart. Yeah. How did you where did your brain go going into that next match against somebody who is a world champion? Like, where were you at?
It was
Determination, what was it?
it was definitely really nerve-wracking. I would say a little more stressful than the match before, but I think um, I also saw her score because she was on the same bail, so I think that kind of helped me a little bit, seeing that we weren't shooting that far off compared to my score that she got with her first person and what I got. So I think it was just trying to not have a bad mindset and just trying to win.
That's good. I mean, you're you are on the right track. That's awesome. So looking at your match with Cinzia, you ended up winning. But the first round, let me just tell you, you are on absolute fire in that match. I remember sitting there watching it through my binos. First end, 29-26, you up 3. Next end, 28-26, you again. Next end, 29-27. Like you just hit a groove that was, you were in your own world for those 3 ends. And then the final end still very, very good. 27-26. You ended up winning 113-105. And I don't know if your mom saw this or if you noticed this. I was watching, you had one of the highest totals for that round for men and women. Like you were just
Yeah.
just on a path of destruction. Get out of my way. I'm going to the podium. Um, so that's good. But then you came into your shoot ups. And so that put you where you needed to be. And you came
Mhm.
into the shoot ups and ended up facing your friend Ava, right?
Yes, yeah.
Was that nerve-wracking or maybe a little comforting because you guys are sort of tight within your class?
I think it was more comforting. Like even when Ava was walking out, I said to my mom, I was like, "Oh no, like one of us is gonna lose, one of us is gonna win."
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was more comforting because I've shot with her before. Like we've both shot together. It wasn't like completely new, and I think because she was a friend, we had a fun time.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, and you both shot very respectable scores. It was good. That was for the first match of the shoot ups. you ended up winning. It was 25-26 you, 25-26 you again, 24-21, and then Ava came back. She finished really strong. You ended up winning 102.99. So that's good. That may have been kind of not a motivating factor, but like you said, a comfort level thing where you got to compete against her. You knew her. Um, there's it kind of broke the ice a little bit of being up there with all the big lights and the people cheering. And I'm trying to remember, was PJ the speaker, or was the announcer during your match, or was it Casey? I don't recall.
It was PJ, not
It,
Casey.
it was PJ. How was that for you? First time up there, having somebody in your face with a microphone, did that calm you down or make you a little more anxious?
I think it made me a little more anxious, but it also helped me to kind of take my mind off of like what was going on down the range, like the arrow pulling and everything. And I think it kind of helped a little bit to kind of focus on like myself and not like everyone else around me, and just focus on like shooting.
Yeah, you're not the first person to say that, because you're not just like standing there by yourself in front of all these people, not talking to anybody. But you did have your mom in your coach box. So that had to be a little comforting, right? I think,
Yeah, normally when I'm shooting, she's always behind me, so it was like nice to have her like in her normal spot next to me.
yeah, you made me chuckle a little bit. I think PJ said something about, who's in your coach box, and you're like, it's my lovely mother. And it was just the way it came out. It was kind of comical, but at the same time, like you were so chill about it. Is your mom sitting there right now?
She is.
Mom, I think you need to
Yes.
come on the camera real quick. I want to ask you a question. She's trying to be like, no, I don't want to look at you. I don't want to be on there. So I got a question for you. What was it like standing in that coach box, watching your daughter just absolutely slay while she's shooting?
Personally, I was happy with her getting all zeros at that point. She could have had all misses. I was just happy for her hitting the podium, but I was giving her some motivation whispers here and there, but it was exciting. So I don't think we realized she was going to go as far as she did.
I mean, that's the goal, right? So obviously she has it in her, but you had to be a proud parent there, just standing there watching it happen, and just how she handled herself. So that's a testament to you. Obviously, you've done something pretty dang good raising this child, because she had the maturity and like composure of, it's a veteran in the sport. So I didn't want to bring you out in the spotlight or anything, but that comment was hilarious, and it was sweet at the same time. Um, and it's not always, parents aren't always the ones that get pulled into the coach box. Sometimes it's a coach, a friend, a teammate, something like that. So kudos to you as well. And congratulations, mom, on having such an awesome kid. You're welcome. So let's
call out the comment too. So it was. She's never called me that, lovely mother before. So I definitely saved that.
Well, it sounded like there was a smidge of sarcasm. Was that sarcasm, or were you just trying to be sweet?
No, I was trying to be sweet, but I think maybe it came across like that.
All good.
I had to include it in there for her.
No, you did good. You did good. So, all right, mom, I'm not going to kick you out. You can hang out if you want, or she can be on the camera. It doesn't matter.
I think she got this. She can handle it.
She's doing good. She's doing great. So next match, the queen of Barebow, you came up against Fawn.
Yes.
Fawn is an amazing person. She's an incredible competitor. She's really like one of the major faces in American Barebow, and has been for a long time. What was it? What were you thinking as Fawn was walking out and you hear all these people cheering, and and I'm not going to say Fawn's intimidating in a bad way, but she's a competitor. She'd be a competitor at Tiddlywinks. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Like she's there to win. Doesn't matter who you are. She's going right through you if she can. You didn't let her, but she's going to try. And so you guys come out of the gate. Fawn's the 2 seed, and first end 26-26 tied. Second end 25, 29. You hit a stride again. You found it right when you needed it. Third end, you shot a 31 and she shot a 23. So that kind of put the nail in the coffin a little bit. However, Barebow can happen at any point in time, but you didn't let it.
Yeah.
You ended up winning with a 26-22 last end, a 112-96. That's a pretty stout win for that match. And then you get to what, the very last match, and you end up taking the whole thing after all said and done. And you just stayed on 26, 24, 29, 22, 101. Everything just came to, when did it set in? Like, when did it set in? Like, I just won this thing.
I don't even know that it really even set in. I think when I turned around, and because I think I was so in my zone, I didn't even realize that like that was the last shot. Like that's it. I either win or I don't. And I think that's what helped too. But I kind of turned around and my mom was like, "You won," and I was like, "What?"
I thought I saw that. I thought it was like, you kind of just like turned around, like everybody's clapping and cheering. You kind of turn around like you're waiting for your arrows. And are we done? Is this what's happening? And I remember I thought I saw your mom whisper like, "You won." It's like, this is
She did. She did.
yeah. And then everybody lost their minds, started cheering you on, and like, Medina, Medina. It was pretty cool. So where are you now? Like, I guess coming off such a amazing win like that, is it making you, are you working harder? Are you going to Vegas? Are you going to Vegas?
Yes.
Are you in this, like, you're all in? Are you still practicing 5 days a week? Are you working on things? Are you making any changes? Like, where are you at right now in preparation for the remainder of the tournaments? And I assume you don't have, when's your indoor national? That's coming up yet.
I think it's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
February 21st.
Yeah, that's actually that's the weekend I'm shooting. There's a bunch of us going to Virginia to shoot. Where are you shooting that at? Are you shooting that at Halls?
No, we're shooting at Massachusetts.
Oh, that's right. That's in Massachusetts. I forgot. Where's that location? What's the name of it?
Fitzdale, I think.
That's right. Yeah, they have it every year up there. I've never shot up there. We try to make it around to a few, but Virginia's by far like our favorite venue, just because it's like big. They have it in this big, huge complex, similar to Spooky Nook actually. So it's about half the size, but it's we shoot down there. So you're carrying this into indoor national, Vegas indoor nationals, and just pushing through as many tournaments as you can get to. Is that the goal here moving forward?
Yeah, I think it added almost to the pressure, but I think we're just trying to go to the next tournament, not like, I don't want to say like dwell on the past, but just like keep moving forward, try to do like good in our next tournament in Massachusetts, and going forward, just like keep the streak going.
Yeah, well, I mean, the level of work, I've said this before, the level of work that it's easy to get to the top. It's harder to stay there. It just needs you to keep working, and maybe in some capacity work a little bit harder, because you're now, not that you need to hear this, but I'm going to say it, like, you're the person to beat in some capacity. Like, you're it. And it's like, even like, to see Ava up there the year after she did so amazing at the classic as well. I don't think a lot of people appreciate how difficult it is to be consistently good. Like, John Demmer is one of those people. John might not shoot a 560, 570 every time, but he's always competitive and he's always good. And that's something that is commendable. Especially, you've 3-year time span have made just drastic improvements, and it's so great to see. Like, you still have your tab on your finger and everything.
I know.
You're dedicated. You're so dedicated. I love it. You're recording a podcast with all your archery gear on. All good. But anyways, what's your aspirations for the future? What does Medina see yourself in the future of archery and Barebow? what's your goals? What's things that you're not hyper focused on, but like focused on for the next, let's say, you're going on 15, we said, right?
Going on
Or
16. I'm 15
16?
currently.
What's your goals like through high school now? Where you at? You got Team USA aspirations? Is it switch to Olympic and go to the Olympics? Like where's your what's your focus right now, or haven't you gotten that far?
I'm currently on the USA team, and I think we're gonna like try out again next year and like try to stay on that team. And I think maybe eventually go switch to Olympic recurve in a couple years, and maybe the Olympics going from there. But I think the goals now are like sort of like competition by competition, just like
Good.
new goals each time, and just try to improve every single time.
You you've learned, either you picked this up and you're just like a diamond in the rough, or just the way you speak. It seems like, do you have any mental training or somebody you work with, or who is it that has kind of molded this approach to your shooting?
I don't have necessarily like a coach, but I think definitely my mom, and I think maybe like some of my first coaches definitely helped me to kind of think more like in the zone and not focus too much on like everyone else. I think it's more like to focus on my goals and not compare myself to everybody else.
That listen, everybody that listens to this podcast needs to go back, rewind, and listen to what you just said, especially the kids, because you are without a doubt on the right track. It was so much fun watching you compete. I look forward to seeing your progress in the future.
Thank you.
And I think that you definitely have a gift. There's no question. Barebow's, let's face it, Barebow's the hardest version of competitive archery outside of like longbow. Like, we got to give longbow a shout out, because it's not,
Of
when you're
course, yeah.
the further down the traditional road you go, the harder it gets. But
Yeah.
in the big stage, on the world stage currently, I mean, longbow still has some competitions they do with 3D and some other stuff, but like Barebow is it, and you've chosen that hard path and you've been successful with it. Just don't lose sight of that stuff as you move forward, and you're going to be just fine. Instead of, talking about Fawn being, I'm not calling you a future queen of Barebow. I'm just saying your name can be synonymous with Fawn, and you have that ability for sure. It's so I just wanted to
Thank you.
yeah, 100%. I want you to know that. And thank you for coming on the podcast. Thank you for being so transparent and talking with everyone that listens to this, and kind of giving your journey. Because I think one of the reasons I always try to get into that is it's aspiring shooters hearing other people's paths, realizing it's not always cakes and pies, right? It's not always easy. You know what I mean? So, um, but it's if you had one word as we close this out, you have one phrase or word or whatever of advice for kids coming up through, what would it be?
I would say just like focus on yourself, keep your head in the game, don't compare yourself to like anybody else. Just create small goals and focus it like on yourself, and don't get discouraged if things don't work out. Everyone has like their highs and their lows.
Couldn't have said it better myself, without a doubt. Um, Thank you so much. Thank you for taking time out of your practice. Well, you already finished your
Thank you.
practice,
Yeah.
but thank you for
Yeah.
taking your time to hop on the podcast. We'll get this uploaded, and check out Hall's Archery, everyone. If you're in the Northeast, you can get up there, go support. It's a family name within the sport. Good people. And I look forward to seeing you. Probably, I'm not going to be at NFA indoor. Are you shooting NFA indoor? Are you planning on it?
I'm not sure. I don't
Okay.
think so.
Well,
Not at the moment.
maybe if you make, however, something to think about. If you make, I think it's the top 6 for indoor nationals, they do that shoot off
Mhm.
at NFA indoor, and then you can shoot NFA indoor, which is a
Yeah,
fun,
they
very
do.
fun tournament as well. So, but let's not put the cart before the horse. let's just get out there and compete and do the best you can. And we look forward to seeing your progress and your future tournaments the rest of this year, especially Vegas and all the big stuff. And I definitely will see you. Are you going to do Target Nationals then as well? Where's that at?
Yeah.
Missouri? I think it's in Missouri this year, right? I think that's where it's at.
Not sure.
Somewhere in the South. I don't know. Somewhere in the South. Are you gonna shoot some 3D or are you not a 3D shooter?
No, I haven't shot 3D before. I definitely want to try it, but I don't think this year we're gonna get into it.
It becomes a bit much for sure. To be able to get around. That's where like Brian and Nick Way, like they shoot a lot of 3D. They shoot indoor. I think Brian, I don't know if Nick did, but they started like messing with outdoor target last year as well. I think Brian for sure was at Target Nationals. I think. I don't I might be remembering somebody else, but it's tough. It's tough and it's expensive. So there's it's just
Yeah.
we're a self-funded sport, and even in some of the world stuff, you said you're on Team USA, some of that stuff is self-funded. So it's most of that stuff is self-funded, I should say.
Yeah.
So it can definitely be, it's an investment for sure. So thank you to your mother for being so supportive and carting your butt all over the place to do this.
Thank you.
And again, thanks for coming on the Barebow Project. All right, Medina?
Thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome. And the winner of the January giveaway for our Patreon subscribers is Sydney Clardy. Sydney, congratulations. We'll be reaching out to you and getting with the bow band to send you your custom bow band finger sling here for the Patreon winner for the month of January.